The following program is not meant for those under the age of 18. There's explicit and adult content. Please enjoy host guy Shea, Rage Live.
All right, this is the second Rage Live. Sort of a short, quick thought. It's Friday, December 12th. We're whittling our way closer and closer to the famous retail holiday celebrating, I guess, capitalism in the U.S. I don't know how it's done anywhere else, but it's all about the retail season. Now, what does that have to do with Jesus? Well, of course, the underlying theme for Christmas is the celebration of the birth of Christ, even though the date's off. Actually, the month's off, and maybe the story's off a little bit. But, yeah, what's wrong with a good story, right? As long as it brings something positive to people. But that's not what we're talking about on this short thought. This is part of our quick series, Rage Live. You're going to find this exclusively on the HTLA family. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You'll have to go to HTLA. This will be the last HTLA Rage Live that will be broadcast on Spreaker unless you go to the HTLA site. Now, you can figure all that out. Links, this and that. Easy enough, right? Yes, and you want to check out the other programs as well. I'm your host, Guy Shea. This is Rage Live. A few things have me raging this evening. Short, quick series I want to share with you before we get into anything else. First of all, and maybe really important for the U.S., and also for our Arab pals. Now, if you remember, not too long ago, and I'm talking maybe a couple decades, OPEC controlled the price of oil. A lot of the Arabic countries were just, they were cashing in via the U.S. And, of course, we found out during the 70s, early 70s, oil shortage. Let's put quotation marks around oil shortage. You remember that? Yeah. Well, first of all, there was no oil shortage per se in the U.S. And, of course, the prices jumped from what? And this is going to seem incredible to younger people, 40-some cents, 60-some cents, up to a whole $1. In retrospect, I would like another shortage, I guess. But, it's a known fact. Off the Gulf of Mexico, the U.S. oil companies and British Petroleum, et cetera, were burning off excess oil to up the price. And if you were alive and driving during that time, you got to experience the long lines. And then, of course, the happy people that were doing those 10 cents a gallon thing, and cars were lined up for, 50 miles, jamming up traffic, and they were spending, a full tank of gas sitting there in traffic waiting to get some more gas. Makes no sense. Well, not too long ago, oil per barrel is how it's priced pretty much nationally, internationally, was over $100 per gallon, per barrel. Let me correct that, per barrel. Now, as of today, earlier today, that has dropped down to $57.81 a barrel, about half of what it was. Now, I'm not saying the Arabic sheiks and kings are going to have to trade in their Rolls Royces for a Geo, but what I am saying is gas prices have come way down. So, you notice at your gas pumps, the prices are up considerably. But when they're paying $51.80 or $57, let me correct myself, $57 as of today, $81 per barrel of oil, that should reflect at your gas pumps even during the holidays, minus all the, obviously, the price gouging that we're used to at some of our bigger gas station franchises. Okay, so in retrospect, of the old prices via the new prices, and not just saying we can jack the prices up just because. How about this? Why don't we lower the price of gasoline down, being that the profit line just doubled for these corporations, down to about, let's be fair, let's say I'm sure everybody could live with $2 a gallon across the board in the U.S. How about that, holiday lovers? How about instead of the presidency and his cabinet sending people out to join protesters, encouraging more economic and financial loss during the holiday season. It's happening right now. Obama supporters and staffers are joining in the protests. Now, I know the president may not be aware of what's going on in the U.S., but possibly should know what the people working for him directly are doing. Got a feeling he knows. Wink, wink. What do you think? I think it's a wink, wink situation. And I got to tell you, it absolutely enrages me when I hear that stuff. It makes me angry. Makes Mother Nature angry. Next thing you know, we're going to throw our cell phones away and start going old school with the rotary dials and a quarter again. Maybe AT&T stocks will go back up. What do you think? All right, quit goofing around. Good luck finding a payphone these days. You might find, I don't know, the aftermath of where a payphone once existed, and it'll probably be the booth, minus the phone and change box, of course, and this wire that ends into nothing, because I don't know why people take the phone itself. I don't know, is there a black market for these used AT&T phones? They just disappear. Not the cord, but the phone itself. But that's not important. The biggest thing I want to get into, and I want to take a real quick, small break, being that this is a short series, because a lot of people become mesmerized with some of these reality shows we listen to. Absolutely, in my opinion, of course, asinine, but that's what amuses some of the mass media. A lot of little Forrest Gumps walking around after watching TV sets all day. Shame on you, parents. But then again, public education may not meet much better these days. I don't know. Morals at home, education at school. Work together, smart kid, less drug use, less crime, less taxpayers having to suffer through the holiday season. We'll be right back. Entertain yourself real quick with a rapping baby Jesus appropriate for the retail holiday.
Christmas, baby. It's Christmas Day. Pray, pray. I'm Baby J. It's my birthday today. Come on and pray. Pray. Oh yeah, pray, pray. I'm Baby J. It's my birthday today. Go Jesus, it's your birthday. Go Jesus, it's your birthday. You down with G.O.D.? Yeah, yeah, JC. You down with G.O.D.? Yeah, yeah, JC. You down with G.O.D.? Yeah, yeah, JC. Who's down with G.O.D.? Every last homie.
You're listening to Rage Live with Guy Shea.
HTLA Radio 1. HTLA Radio 1 in New York City proudly presents Crash Talk.
Listen to HTLA Radio 1.
DJ Bad Guy said so.
Ladies and gentlemen, HTLA 97.3 FM in New York proudly presents rock superstar Crash Jesus.
Of course, you're listening to Rage Live with your host, Guy Shea, HTLA. That sounds sort of like a mafia. Anyway, I want to get into my main rage on this short series program this evening. Not a lot of time to spend tonight. Now, you're going to hear the normal 60-minute programs on HTLA coming soon. You want to keep in touch with their website, HTLA Radio 1 New York. Check it out. Good stuff. Check out all the programs there. Now, listen to me. I've found, and I've learned this firsthand broadcasting, there seems to be a major issue with people these days and what I like to call a word ownership. Now, the question is, can any particular group of people, and I'm talking about race, culture, any group of people, claim ownership to a word? Now, of course, there's derogatory comments made, and you've heard the statement that words are powerful. You've also heard that the pen's mightier than the sword. Now, that may be true if you're talking about legalizing something and having litigation or a new law, but when somebody claims to own a word, and I'm talking about a lot of these racial words we hear these days, and of course, and excuse me for saying it, but the N-bomb word, you hear this constantly. Now, what upsets me is, on a premise, modern days. I'm talking about 2014. Terminology can be used as a insult, but I don't think anybody who's on either end of the spectrum using a particular word can claim the ownership of that word, no matter how it's directed or what the intent might well be. For instance, if a word that was decades, I'm talking centuries ago, I think the person knows better than that. More people know what they are. People know who they are, and they can't be defined by an adjective. I really don't think so. And consider the source. If somebody's ignorant enough to use that word and throw it in a direction because of someone's color of their skin, that just makes them simply narrow-minded. Think about it. And the person they're directing at it shouldn't pay any attention, because I would never define myself by the color of my skin or an adjective thrown in my general direction. I'm just too high on the feeding chain for that, and so are you. Think about it. Let's stop claiming negativity. It's just another reason to dislike each other. It's another reason to complain. There is no ownership of a word unless you're using it as a surname followed by an adjective, at which point possibly there's a reason to be upset. Frivolous lawsuits, jammed up courtrooms, and people complaining about the smallest, minute, insignificant things is not part of the American dream. Everybody's the same. It's guaranteed in our rule book. The Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, all of our amendments guarantees that everybody is exactly the same. If you think you're not, read it again. Is anybody really oppressing you, or are you stopping yourself by simply claiming ownership to a word that's archaic and repulsive? No, you know better than that. There are no N-bombs out there. It's simply a word. If somebody's ignorant enough to use that word and direct it at a race, well, once again, consider the source. I don't think it's necessary to say, hey, I'm that. You know better. I don't think a black man or white man should ever be, ever, held down to one particular word due to archaic and ancient stereotypes. People have progressed beyond that. The only people complaining about it are the ones that may have some deep-rooted alternative motives, and they just continue to hate and throw the negatives. The word's dead. As far as owner, no. Maybe the person who spews the word is the true owner of the word, because they define the definition through their own self. Other than that, I say this: human is all we are. Doesn't matter the color of skin. When you take away the skin, the muscles, and you get down to the skeleton, we're all the same. It's human DNA. It's called being a normal human being. Deal with it, people. Stop owning negative words. This is HTLA's Rage Live with Guy Shea. Just a quick thought series, and we are out.